This is what it is on a Chuck Norris. Okay, any post you'll find all these crazy Chuck Norris facts. Like, look, I use Chuck Norris as my password, but it said password too strong. He once said to a woman to calm down, and she did. Oh my goodness. Chuck Norris has admitted to using stunt doubles, but only for the crying parts. When Chuck Norris was born, he named his parents. Chuck Norris killed 2 stones with 1 bird. Chuck Norris went to a feminist convention and came back with a sandwich. Okay? Death once had a near Chuck Norris experience. Okay? Chuck Norris donates blood for the Red Cross, but not his blood. Superman wears Chuck Norris pajamas to bed. Chuck Norris learned to read from a book he wrote. Wait. Chuck Norris learned to read from a book he wrote. This is what the Chuck Norris phenomenon, man. A bodybuilder once asked Chuck how many push-ups he could do. Chuck replied, all of them. Oh my God. Wait. Chuck Norris ordered a Big Mac at Burger King once and got it. Ghosts gather around the campfire and tell Chuck Norris stories. Chuck Norris counted to infinity twice. Look. Guns keep Chuck Norris under their pillow. Chuck Norris was once bitten by a cobra. After 5 days of excruciating pain, the cobra died. Chuck Norris threw a grenade into a room and killed 40 men, then the grenade went off. Chuck Norris has a bearskin rug in his home. The bear isn't dead or anything. It's just too afraid to move. Wait. When Chuck Norris was born, he drove his parents home from the hospital. This is the Chuck Norris effect. Oh my gosh. Chuck Norris was once pulled over by a cop. The cop was lucky to leave with a warning. Chuck Norris once visited the Virgin Islands. They're now known as the Islands. Chuck Norris won a staring contest with the sun. Chuck Norris unscrambled an egg. Oh my gosh. You know, and it was a really close-knit community, and you know, but all this, like, Chuck will beat your ass. I hate Bruce Lee sycophants. They know that one of the oldest debates is, could Bruce Lee beat or could Chuck Norris beat Bruce? Chuck Norris could beat Bruce Lee in the fight. I don't understand why. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go here, man. Let's do some Chuck Norris appreciation. Once again, if the man is racist, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, he would beat your ass. Okay, he would beat your ass. He would beat my ass. We have to shoot that dude. Okay, we have to shoot him in the leg. Okay, let's continue. Let's go here. Chuck Norris, man. Chuck Norris would beat your ass. I'm just focused on music. They say my last tape was a classic, but I got some hotter shit. I be rocking this show, if I'm not up in the studio, I'm fucking this cash off. Don't you know follow? In my eyes, Chuck Norris is goated. I think Chuck Norris did as much as for American karate that Bruce Lee has done for martial art. I think Chuck will never get his flowers, man. I think the shadow of Bruce Lee is just too fucking big. It's just too large, and it's too many people that drink the Bruce Lee Kool-Aid. But Chuck has done a lot for American kickboxing, American karate, just martial arts in general. But that Bruce shadow is just too big, man. Maybe in another decade or so, we get a couple Chuck Norris biopics, a couple documentaries. He's goated though. He's goated. I don't care what he's right there with Bruce. I don't care what no one says. As far as impact, cultural impact on the martial arts, and him bringing it to the movies just like Bruce did. Hey, he did everything Bruce Lee did. He did everything Bruce Lee. What did Bruce Lee do that Chuck Norris didn't do? Chuck did everything Bruce did at the same time of Bruce. Oh, so we got clips? You found it? Okay, where did he... Is this a racist clip from Chuck? Wait. Where's it at? Hold on, let me find it. Wait, let me find it. Wait, Finger Brother, where's the link at? God damn it. Is that it? Is this it? Okay, let's see what he said. Let's see what he said or he did. Oh, I can't play it. I ain't getting hit with the copyright. I hear you, man, but I ain't getting hit with the copyright. I ain't got time for the copyright. I thought it was like a racist clip or something. So let me go here. Where's that kickboxing team? Listen, these white dudes. Where's that team at? I found it. Where's it at? Listen, he was on a team with Bill Wallace, Chuck Norris, and there was two other guys. And this was like the super team that went across the world, whooping on everybody. Okay? They whooped on everybody. I don't think some of y'all understand. I remember this because this was like a highlight for a lot of us early on in the martial arts.
Bill Superfoot Wallace, a legend in the full contact karate.
You know, Johnny, very few people appreciate the beauty of a good right hand.
I know, Brad. Or the symmetry, the way the right and left flow together.
Or the poetry of a superfoot.
It's him again.
Guys, the hand is for showing off the PKA Ring of Champions.
Chuck was on this team. They went to everybody's country whooping ass. These four white dudes with Chuck Norris went everywhere, just laying everybody to waste. These guys were the best of the best of the best of the best, okay? And let's see. That's more Bill. I don't care about all Bill stuff. Matter of fact, yeah, this was them right here. This is the team. Let me go.
Fighter.
Okay, that's them. And then Chuck joined his team after. He was he was on that and they got their rings. Let me find it. Nope. Okay, hold up. Chuck Norris, PBA, kickboxing team. Kickboxing team. Yeah, it was the world. He founded the World Combat League, full contact team-based kickboxing promotion. This is in the 2000s. Man, I gotta find it. Hold up. Okay, let's do this. Chuck Norris fighting record. Okay. 10 years, 183 wins, 10 losses, 2 draws. He beat Joe Louis in the fight. Okay. He did not lose a fight after 1968, retiring in 74. 6-time world champion. He defeated Joe Louis 3 times. Skipper Mullins sparred against Bill Wallace, even though they say that it was the rumor is, even when I was a kid, that was more than a sparring match. What we were told was they beat each other up pretty good. It's one of those, fights you've only heard about. There was no tape. You just had to trust those that were there that seen the fight, and it was a pretty brutal fight, right? 10th degree black belt in Chuck Hudo, 9th degree in Tang Soo Do, 8th degree in Taekwondo, 3rd degree in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. A lot of people didn't know this. A lot of people did not know he was a BJJ practitioner. Chuck Norris would beat your ass. Okay? Okay? His 10 losses occurred early in his career, including against Joe Louis, Alan Steen, and Tony Tuners. Right? Won the Triple Crown in 1969. He was fighter of the year, Black Belt Magazine in 1969. Like, Chuck would beat your ass, man. Like, legit. Like, he was the real deal. He was the real deal. He was the real deal. Yeah, let's find that Joe Louis thing.
I never understood point fighting because to me, the purpose of a punch, the purpose of a kick is to do damage. And how do you do damage if you're missing the target?
In the heat of Madison Square Garden in 1967, two titans stepped onto the mat. One was Joe Louis, the undefeated powerhouse of American karate. The other, Chuck Norris, a quiet but relentless technician with everything to prove. What followed wasn't just a match. It was a savage fight that sent shockwaves through the martial arts world.
The thing is, again, is that the more you train, the more proficient you are to be able to handle certain situations on the street. But that does not mean that every situation you're going to be able to handle yourself.
Chuck Norris's victory over Joe Louis didn't just upend a champion. It exposed a fault line in the foundation of karate itself. When the dust settled, karate in America would never be the same. This was the moment it changed forever. The stage was set, America's karate boom. By the mid-1960s, karate was erupting into the American mainstream. Once seen as an obscure Eastern discipline, the martial art was gaining traction through military exposure, Hollywood fascination, and the growing interest in Eastern philosophy. But it wasn't philosophy that drew crowds. It was fighting, and tournaments quickly became battlegrounds for the best martial artists in the country. The American tournament scene was dominated by aggressive, full-contact bouts. These weren't ceremonial katas or stage demonstrations. They were real fights with real consequences. Fighters trained hard, competed harder, and built reputations through grit and skill. In this atmosphere, Joe Louis emerged as the face of American karate, a former Marine, explosive athlete, and virtually unstoppable force in competition. At the same time, Chuck Norris was quietly climbing the ranks. Known for his calm demeanor and clean technique, Norris wasn't the loudest or the flashiest, but he was consistent. He trained obsessively in Korean Tang Soo Do, honed his timing with surgical precision, and began making waves by defeating respected names in the circuit. While Louis racked up titles and headlines, Norris was building a resume that included opening karate schools, teaching celebrities, and compiling an increasingly impressive win record. The convergence of these two forces was inevitable. Karate in the US was moving fast, techniques were evolving, schools were expanding, and competitors were starting to push past the traditional boundaries of the art. Tournament karate was no longer a mirror of its Eastern roots, it was becoming something uniquely American. And right at the tipping point, in the summer of 1967, the All-American Karate Championship at Madison Square Garden was announced. It was more than just another tournament, it was a proving ground. Everyone knew the real story wasn't the event itself, it was the potential showdown between Chuck Norris and Joe Louis. One man represented power, dominance, and the old guard. The other represented speed, precision, and something new. No one knew it yet, but this fight, this singular confrontation, would become the moment karate as America knew it would change forever. Joe Louis, the golden boy of American karate. By 1967, Joe Louis wasn't just another fighter, he was the fighter. The name struck immediate recognition in martial arts circles, and for good reason. A former Marine with a physique more suited to boxing than point karate, Louis brought raw power and unmatched aggression into a sport still finding its identity in the United States.
Listen, as a kid, the stories I heard about, people were terrified to fight this guy, okay? So let me jump ahead. Let's jump ahead to the actual fight.
Norris's savage fight with Joe Louis. When the final match of the 1967 All-American Karate Championship began, most spectators still believed Joe Louis would walk away with another title. But Chuck Norris had studied him too well. What unfolded was not a cautious technical match. It was a savage fight that shocked everyone watching and, in its intensity, rewrote the future of competitive karate. The first exchange was a test of nerves. Louis advanced quickly, using his signature aggressive style. He charged, trying to establish dominance early. Norris didn't retreat. He sidestepped, countering with a clean ridge hand that caught Louis mid-step. First point to Norris. That set the tone. Norris wasn't intimidated, and he wasn't playing defense. He stayed mobile, used lateral movement, and kept Lewis off balance. But it was the timing that made the difference. Norris didn't block. He interrupted. He timed Lewis's attacks to land his own just before Lewis could complete his combination, outscoring the power fighter by milliseconds. As the fight progressed, it turned physical. Lewis, frustrated by Norris's evasions and counters, began fighting harder, some said too hard. When he connected, it was with such power that Norris could barely deflect. In return, Norris unleashed a flurry of techniques, including moves that had rarely been seen. Every time he struck Lewis, the crowd gasped. It was a real fight now, clean by the rules, but on the edge of losing control. Both fighters exchanged fierce strikes. Lewis landed several powerful body shots, earning points, but Norris kept answering back, scoring with precision kicks and high-speed counters. Judges struggled to keep up. Norris's ability to disguise his attacks, especially his...
And you know what? You know what we don't have? You know why you got to give the nod to Chuck? Because you don't have these sparring footages of Bruce Lee. Y'all, we got the same repeated shit, the same demonstrations that he would do, his little 1-inch punch, his little finger push-ups. We don't have no real combat shit of Bruce Lee. You got scores of hours of tape of Chuck Norris going into the lion's den and just decimating everybody. These guys around the same time. How come we got all this footage of Chuck doing what, putting foot to ass, and, actually showing up proof? We have no real footage of Bruce Lee. Why is that? Why is that? Why? I can find hours upon hours of Chuck Norris from 40, 50, 60 years ago. I can't find next to nothing on Bruce Lee. I'm just saying, man.
Front leg roundhouse and back fist combo began to wear Lewis down. The final exchange was brutal. Lewis lunged, aiming to knock Norris off his base. Norris parried, pivoted inside, and delivered a lightning-fast punch to Lewis, followed by a controlled hook kick, stopping just short of full contact but scoring cleanly. The bell rang. Then the announcer declared the winner, Chuck Norris. It wasn't just a win, it was a seismic upset. Lewis, the undefeated champion, had been outscored and outmaneuvered. Norris had fought hard and smart, turning every strength Lewis had into a weakness. It was calculated brutality, and the crowd knew they had witnessed a shift in the martial arts landscape. What made this fight savage wasn't wild violence. It was psychological warfare, the precision under pressure, the willingness from both men to push each other past their limits. Norris absorbed hits that would have dropped most fighters. Lewis fought with everything he had, and still couldn't stop him. In the aftermath, Lewis showed sportsmanship, but he knew the game had changed. Norris had exposed the limitations of brute force in tournament karate. The fight demonstrated that control, timing, and adaptability could dethrone power. It wasn't just a match, it was a moment. The day Chuck Norris defeated Joe Louis, karate in America evolved. Fighters began rethinking their approach. Schools restructured their curriculum. Tournament strategies changed across the country.
Oh, but I thought Bruce Lee had y'all whole Jeet Kune Do way of the I don't know what the meaning, way of the fist, whatever. I thought it was Bruce Lee that changed the landscape of martial arts and had people rethinking everything and how they approach fights. And I hear what y'all saying. Chuck Norris did everything that Bruce Lee did. He hits every metric. And you know what's even better? We can go back and watch the old footage of Chuck Norris. I'm not here to glaze Chuck Norris. I'm not. But I'm so tired of the Bruce Lee is God shit.